it's the recess bell or the break between class bell, they ziggity boom for the time until the bell ring again. Then they go back to being lethargic.
And then that was a little flip because we used to have the bells to keep spirits away. Right. So I'm saying there's so many things that they do that's a flip, like the whole red door on churches with to keep evil spirits away and how they remove the bells. You just gotta pay attention how they like flip stuff. They took them out of churches, put them in the schools, and then put you on the school bus that look like a prison bus with the school tray that look like a prison tray, so they could train you that either you going to work, which is a prison, or a prison that they're gonna try to put you in a prison. Like it was a psychological
plantation or reservation.
Mm-hmm.
The plantation, you go on your own, come and go as you please now. But the reservation, you locked in. All reservations got a fence around. Right? Some of them, they could use the sticks. They call them land markers. But they tell you where the reservation at. Remember, the reservation, you used to be able to roam it freely and come and go as you please. In the POW camp, the concentration camp, is where they used to lock you down. Now they flipped it.
Right. But see, I'll tell you this. This one thing I've learned, especially over the past year, is if you study just a little bit, and when I mean study, I mean like learn what they've been hiding. Like, right? Like, learn what they've been hiding. Then they're going to have to start giving it to you. Like, and like I really understood what Chief been telling about spitting my indigenous, because when I started the academy/university, right, I was like, I don't want to be on a system. So I looked at this as a clan mother, Aboriginal indigenous person, and started researching how to do it, right? So that's when I started finding about what they call like the 508c1a, right? Which is what they call tax status. So like I say, you don't have to like Trump, but you gotta love and watch what he's doing. Cause see, my thing is if a dude cannot get arrested, do this, run these bits, I want to see what you doing, right? I want to see what you're doing. In fact, let me show y'all. If you don't have this book right here, the 0%. Go get this book right here. This is the book that lets you know about operating as an Aboriginal indigenous, why you ain't supposed to pay taxes, how you supposed to set yourself up, why child support is considered illegal, which is hence why he was changing their law. This is, if you read it, says the 0%, the secrets of the United States, the power to trust, nationality, and the zero taxes. When you start knowing who you are as a person on land, you get all your information, right? Your stuff and your paperwork together. And I don't mean like you give it to them, but like if you're going to start something, I said, okay, I want my stuff, but I want my freedom. I am a temple, right? See, what they told us is a building was a temple. We're the temple. And they made us forget who we was. Like I say, it took a God to make a God forget you was a God. So when you set yourself up as the deity that you are. They got us over here bound down at altars and tables, and you don't care what religion and what denomination you think you're at. I don't care if you left Christianity and went to Islam went to Ifa went to Hinduism. All of it is energy. But if you sit at a table and you worshiping something higher than yourself, you out of balance. But this is what they did to loop you in to forget who you are. So as I was on this journey, these people was like, as soon as I said this, basically like I'm an Aboriginal indigenous, I'm a clan mother, I'm of the tribe. Like I'm not. They had to start switching my stuff from a federal. First off, federal, I didn't even have to get them shit. Let me tell y'all that first of all. When you're a 508c1a, you don't even have to do nothing no federal because I don't even have to report to you. Report to you for what? That's number one. On the state out form, on the public record, public notice with Florida, this is who I am, this is the temple, this is my tribe, this is what I'm going on, but I ain't paying on taxes because I'm a free spirit, I'm an indigenous on the land. And this is why she be telling y'all about the mayor, which is Mary, which is why they stole our stuff and why you need to get involved on the local area and everybody all worry about the president. That's a distraction. Worry about your little neighbor, worry about your city council, what they call that, your mayor, what used to be your constable, your sheriff. They're the ones that run it. And how I know is when I'm over here advocating for someone who was locked up, I'm calling. First, I'm calling the state. I ain't caring about the feds. So-and-so going on. He said, I can't help you. You got to go back down to the county. The governor basically said, I don't run this right here. That sheriff runs what go on in their county. So even with my company, I said, okay, I'm an Aboriginal indigenous. I'm doing Aboriginal indigenous work. I'm not supposed to pay. Okay, well, give us this stuff. And they don't make it all the way easy, but some people help me walk through. That's why, like now, I got so much stuff, so I got that figured out. So I don't have to pay on the local, the state, and the federal. They're not going to tell you this. So they want to keep us in the loop and talk about the same thing over and over and over. We already know we're indigenous, but what we going to do about it? Like, that's my thing. I'm a very solutions-oriented person. What we going to do about it? I don't want no stuff. I ain't going to be filing no taxes from this point on. I filed myself as a temple. I filed my children as a temple. I filed, all of us got our EINs as a 508c1A. Because we ain't going to be going through all that no more. So this is why
That's
I'm in
about
this
to be cut
100-year
off anyway.
transition as I do it. Huh?
That's about to get cut off anyway. IRS about to be
Well,
closed.
whenever they do, I don't, because I just know how I look at
I was just,
astrology
I was
study,
just
and I
letting
know
you
what's
know
like.
because you got
But yeah,
people
they
watching that don't
said they're
know.
gonna take it from the internal to the external. So that's what he said. But I was like, irregardless, I don't know what they got going on, but I know the feds don't run them. But I will say the states got their own stuff, and I'm telling you, it's that local. It's that local
I
government
did a whole
that really be
video
running that
on.
show.
I did a whole video on taking over local government on Young Elder because you really
Well, y'all
don't have.
find it. Y'all want to find it and watch it. I'm telling you.
Look,
Whatever. What's the name of what's the title? Give them the title because they need
I
to
don't
watch
even
it.
remember. I did that like 2 years ago. That's
Ooh.
that's all that's outdated information now. But look, the local government is where we have more control than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get to beyond state government and you start sending delegates to DC, we don't have no control no more.
Mm-hmm.
That's controlled by secret aristocrats that be writing all of these 5,000-page bills that these senators got 2 days to pass.
And they pass at 2 a.m.
Yeah, how you gonna have a chance to even know what's in the bill
Because they
that you voting
doing
on?
rituals in there. They're
Right.
passing it at a certain time on certain days. It's rituals going on in there.
But that's also con artists.
Yeah.
So they don't want you to know that somebody dictating to them what they doing.
Right.
Right. So they first had to come up with the excuse. It's called a lobbyist.
Yes. Yes.
Right. The lobbyist comes from wherever the money at and pay the senator or congressman to vote on a bill. That's called bribery. But it's legal because they passed a law in Congress that made it legal for the congressman to take the money from what they call a lobbyist. Right? So now that they can take the money legally, it's no longer considered as a bribe. Remember, a license is permission to do something that's otherwise illegal.
Right.
Everything that was being done internally about to be exposed. That's why he went to the External Revenue Service. Right? All this stuff coming to an end. We watching it and we watching the cleanup, but we don't know what we're seeing. We looking at it from the angle, perspective, the viewpoint that systemically they told us to look using the social engineering paradigms that they give us as arts and entertainment now, and news, information. Right? That's why all Trump kept saying fake news.
Fake news.
And they running the political theater. That's why he kept saying this guy's great. He's central casting. Yeah, central casting is actors.
Right. Right.
And that's why you got so many senators and congressmen right now that don't have an oath of office on file because they acted.
Well, part of it is the part of the fall because again, Pluto and Aquarius. They started and now they have to go through their deconstruction. So, like while they're falling, actually China, which is why I know they were talking about stuff with China. China is on pace to be a powerhouse. Astrologically, they are. And in India by 2030 is really looking at like economically and a lot of infrastructure. So that's why you have to look at the astrology, look at the countries, look at the energy that they did certain stuff under. And then the other thing with India, that's a whole other thing. But the UK. The UK, they have a lot of Jupiter influence stuff that's going on with them. They don't have a lot of struggles and internal divisions. They see the UK and USA both they Pluto return. They shit going down, right? And the European Union, the EU, they got a lot of stuff and challenges they gonna be having going on with Germany and France and political stuff and economic stuff because astrologically it's set. And I had already said, like I had wrote this back in December that it was set for the whole peace, what they call a peace treaty. But it's just because astrologically it's set up on there. But I'm telling you, like UK, EU, France, Germany, America, They and they return. Like they and they Pluto return. And baby, anytime you get a Pluto return, that's a revolution energy. That's just what it is.
I'm glad you said revolution, because 76 means revolutionary spirit.
Yes.
What's 7 plus 6?
13.
13 is the Queen Mother Seal.
Yes.
Right? So everything comes full circle. Alpha meets Omega. The beginning meets the end. The problem is that most of us don't see when the beginning meets the end, because you have to change a whole structure of systems. And we want it to happen real fast.
Right.
You just wake up in the morning and everything change. But you got to follow a process, because you got to find out what work, what don't work. What can we use, what's become outdated and useless. Everything we can use, we're going to keep using. Everything outdated and worthless, we ain't using that.
And you have to remember, they didn't do this overnight. Like the whole lie in his storybook is not true. Like they try to, like even their lie of we were founded in 1776. That's when they did their ritual, right? We know that they started way before that, but that's when they did why they're under their Pluto return. Also, why America has 2 natal charts. But at any rate, if you go and really look through the story, right, and we talk about past the Seminole Wars, a lot of the things we never stop warring and fighting. Like even if you go to certain towns, which you could hear about in Georgia, Oscarville, and all that. We had our own stuff, like even into the 1920s and 30s and stuff. These people have not been in control that long. Now we've had guys sold out. Like if you read some of the stuff, like with the woman who was reading her stuff and she tore the paper, the Haka lady, I forgot whatever. But anyway, that was because she was sold out. Her tribe was sold out by their chiefs who signed an agreement to let them do that. So a lot of this stuff is the chickens coming on the room.
You got to remember this. A lot of them papers with signatures on them, and they come from us.
Right.
You got to remember that they was declaring people chiefs to sign treaties that we bound to follow.
Yes, they did. They would take one person out of a tribe, say that they was a chief, and then say, "Oh, well, they gave agreement. They just signed over the whole land."
They don't even be from the land.
Right.
They just appointed him as chief because he probably came over as an orphan. He grew up and he speak English and he speak whatever the tribal language is, and he a translator, and they go declare him the chief and make him sign the papers. Right? He don't know we don't believe in selling land. He ain't the chief because he don't got.
Wasn't okay. Some of them look. That's why Chief always say they look like us, but they wasn't us. So that's why when I was telling kids, don't be mixing my blood with their blood. I mean, all sides, because people was marrying into groups of our groups and coming in and taking stuff. Like still to this day, we still have stuff of my grandmother's land, and and it's been in our family for generations. But we've always made sure that when one of the matriarch has transitioned, and the matriarch has always had the land up until now, because the last person who lived in was my cousin. There was a guy. We make sure that a blood family member, not no married person. Sorry, I was getting a call. A blood family member lives in that house, and then it goes to the next blood family member, because people will come in, which like Chief called the sweetheart deal, just to take the stuff from us. That's what they did.
That was when they started implementing the squatters' rights on the Plymouth shipwreck, right? That's where the squatters' rights come from, and the salvage rights. And the salvage was really for us, the civilly mortis. Capturing the chiefs, capture the leadership. The people stay in disarray. Sooner or later, you got to have somebody that's not a leader tell everybody what happened to the leaders. And guess what? That's going to make him by default.
What?
The damn leader that he don't want to be. But he still got to tell the people so they can understand what happened, so they can break out of the mental slavery.
Right.
But don't nobody want that job. People be thinking that because you say you a chief or a matriarch of a clan, that's some glorious stuff you go through.
Nah, it's a lot of work. People don't appreciate it, and people don't goddamn listen. And then they want that Jesus complex. I want to have somebody to blame, so I can blame you or the false Jesus or whoever. Because if I have to take personal responsibility and accountability, I have to maybe say that some of the stuff I'm going through in my life, I'm mad about on myself. Some of the stuff that may be happening could be a trauma from last lifetime. Some of the stuff that may be happening, maybe something I need to change. So when you have to take personal accountability, a lot of times people don't like to take personal accountability. They want to be able to blame somebody else.
Yeah. That's part of being the victim, though. That's why they push that slave narrative so hard, to keep what they call in foundational Black Americans perpetually victimized, looking for somebody to have so much sympathy they just dump a dump truck full of money on them.
I'm so sick of it. That's why he cutting all that stuff out.
Right, but the whole thing is, it's like, you remember, everybody had amnesia.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, now coming out of amnesia, you ain't quite sure what you is yet. But you know you belong here. Then you got to find yourself in the history to help you fill in the blank spots in your memory in order to break free from the amnesia. Right? But you got to always be mindful of who writing the material you read.
That's why I think it's important for you to be able to hear for yourself, meaning you have your direct connection to source, and you are source. You are your spirit guides. Your spirit guides are your former incarnates of you. Don't nobody know you and know your path and know where you went right and know where you went wrong like you, which if you ever watch that show Avatar, they show it to you plainly. I don't know if any of the people in here, like if you got kids and ain't an anime, baby, it'll help you really over and understand how vast and how wide you are. How you can have an essence and a piece of yourself in another version that's still walking this planet while you're still here, while we didn't have to transition and die to come back again. Like we're such a, when we say multi-dimensional beings, you don't even have to be on another planet or realm. We were here even on this same realm at the same time. Like even incarnating where I kept the same birthday in the same lifetime of this lifetime. We're masters. We don't even know how much masters we are.
But the mastery comes in when you accept your status as a divine incarnation. Right? Most of us too lazy to do the work required to wake up. Remember, when you sleepy, you lethargic. In the spell Kingle, which is the oldest of the three conjures that got us trapped, it's called the spell of sleep.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Right? And when you try to like study or something like that, you start falling asleep. You got to keep fighting it until you break through it, because that's the only way to break free from that oppressive energy. All it is energy. It is. Yesterday ain't here because we already used it. Tomorrow, we building it right now.
And time is not real. The past, present, and future are all simultaneously existing at the same time. Time is not linear. That's what we call hanjuge, shanjune. Once you open, understand that you can go back to your what you call your past self that you thought was traumatized. Go heal that while you're simultaneously here, and then go into your future self and make sure your path is right, because we're not. That's that Dan Benica shit when you put that clock in. Time is not real. In other cultures, especially if they're in their spirituality, they study like. That's why I say you got to go get the pieces of all of them so you can put the whole piece of the puzzle together and the pie together. And when you really understand the real essence of what they call time, time is definitely not real and linear. And we move in and out of time all the time. We shift our reality. You could get into water because remember, water holds memory. You can shift your reality just like that by getting in the water. You can move and shift leaps and bounds. You can not like what you is right now, your finance situation, how you are, and you can speak and see yourself of where you want to be, and by tomorrow you will be there. I'm telling you, I personally did it. I'm telling you, it worked. And I did it. Saw my whole house, everything. Moves, everything.
It's easier to join the gossip circle than the self-discipline circle. The ones that's in the self-discipline circle, they serious about improving their life. The ones in the gossip circle is looking for every excuse not to improve it. And the fodder that feeds that fire is they get to masturbate grandiose delusions by tearing other people down with gossip. Right? So now you start to see where your element at. Birds of a feather flock together.
Right.
going to be drawn to the ones that have that desire to self-improve just by you having that desire to self-improve. Y'all become the leaders of the pack, but when you all was growing up, y'all all started off as the black sheep, the outcast, the reject, the weird one, the goofy, that little clown, right? So now the one that everybody made fun of when they was all babies on the playground growed up and outwitted all of them devils on the playground with them. Devil mean adversary, opponent, right? I ain't mad at the dirty Moors.
No.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because if they didn't push their agenda, we wouldn't have been strong enough to overthrow them.
Right.
Right. And if they didn't run their kind game, we wouldn't become kind wise enough to see the game being played.
Yes.
Now we know what's being done, how it's worked, where it's being done, at who involved in it, who breaking them free, who tripping them up. Everything is known now. Right now the babies got it. That's what they mad about. The babies got it now. They listen to Chief Pontiac, they listen to Phoenix, they listen to Orisha Stone, they listen to Brian Insight. We don't always all agree. But the babies got the critical part of the puzzle that they all need. Look inside yourself.
The babies is really some old ancient souls that have returned in these little brand new bodies. Because I'm telling you, it's been so it's been so many. And I mean, of course, we had our doula class. Shout out to all our doulas. Shout out to our doulas, y'all. They've been catching these babies, and it's like you can see these old ancient souls. And I even had one of my